Braves play the Yankees today for the first time this season, and we're going to go back in time to 1996. The Braves and the Yankees in the World Series. Braves had a 2-0 lead coming back to Atlanta. The Jim Leyritz home run, everything tumbling from there. A long 20-plus years of trauma.
Super indicative of what it means to be an Atlanta sports fan. So I was 2 years old at the time. You were 1. We don't have any memory of watching this, but as we grew up and grew to love these teams, it became a part of just our fandom. It became a part of like our core following these teams. We didn't even have to be there, but it's still a trauma. It's a huge scar on the history of Atlanta sports.
It started so well with the great story of 19-year-old Andrew Jones hitting 2 home runs in Yankee Stadium. The players feeling like that's the one that hurts the most for them of all the times they were in the World Series.
It's also a great encapsulation of the way that Atlanta sports teams break your heart. It's not just they got to the World Series and lost. It's that they got to the World Series, went up 2 games to nothing.
Coming home.
Way to blow it. That was the original 28-3.
And we got them both. Episode 20. We're officially 1/3 of the way through the season, and Cam, the Braves are in first place. They're 11-8. Things have been looking pretty good, but we're seeing some cracks in the armor the last few nights.
If you would have told me before the season the Braves would have lost 5 out of their 6 potential starters in the rotation, if Freddie Freeman and Ronald Acuna started hitting 200 and they were in first place with a winning record, I would say, yeah, that sounds really good. But then you watch what they've done the last 2 games, and you really can't be that optimistic about the direction this team is trending in right now.
Ozzie being hurt, Ronald potentially being out for the next few games. We're seeing the bullpen have to eat so many innings, and the offense, I mean, they're still scoring 4, 5, 6 runs a game. It's just not been enough when you're down 7-0 after 3 innings.
Well, we knew when Mike Soroka went down, the rotation was going to be pretty thin behind Max Fried. I don't think we knew it was going to be this thin. Every guy just going out and not having any kind of consistent success. You can't win a division if you only have 1 starter.
20 games in 20 days for the Braves. A much-needed break tomorrow. Back on Friday against the Marlins. Battle of first-place teams.
We've been 20 episodes in 20 days, too, so we get a much-earned rest. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Back after a day off with episode 21. Cam, we know Mike Trout's the best player in baseball. No doubt about it. Who's the second best player in baseball? And yesterday, Mookie Betts hit 3 home runs in a game. Is he the second best player? Who else is in that debate?
You can make an argument for Mookie without a doubt, but I think he's not alone in that conversation. I think Cody Bellinger definitely deserves some discussion. I think Christian Yelich is definitely in that conversation. Heck, maybe by the end of next year, Ronald Acuna Jr. works his way in there. Mookie is probably at the top of that group.
And the Red Sox, they just got to be sick. I mean, they traded Mookie for not enough. I mean, that's the adequate answer. They didn't get enough back for him, and then the Dodgers signed him to a long extension. What are the Red Sox thinking right now?
Dog, it's like when you have a girlfriend, like a long-term girlfriend that you're super happy with. Everything is great in the relationship, but she wants a commitment that you're not ready for. You don't want to put down the money for a ring, and you just let her walk. And then she goes off and like starts dating a pro athlete and is just so much happier on the West Coast without you. And you're just left with whatever's left in your hometown.
And this weekend, we'll have the great matchup, Betts and Trout, Dodgers, Angels, the Freeway Series, and then the Braves play the Marlins down in Miami. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
60 Game 6 Inches, episode 22. If you had a nice night last night on a Friday night, you definitely were not Kyle Wright. There's just no other way to put it. It was rough. It was ugly. It was embarrassing. Not a good night for the Braves in general, but Kyle Wright especially just really struggling in Miami. One of the worst games Brian Snitker says he's seen in the last 2 years out of this team.
Cam, you told me it was an ugly Little League-esque game, and I mean, they haven't won since Sunday. Trending the wrong way.
We've talked about the pitching, and it just hasn't gotten any better. We're hoping some of these young guys can develop and kind of step into that potential, and they're almost taking a step backwards. Like Kyle Wright, 6 walks in 3 innings. That's unacceptable. It makes you question to some degree, like, what are the Braves doing developmentally with the minor leagues and the pitching staff that so many of these high potential guys aren't reaching that potential?
One of the guys who has been great is Max Fried, and he pitches today, and he's really taken on a couple roles as the ace. He's eating innings for the bullpen. He's really got that ace mentality, and the next challenge for him is being the stopper, stopping this losing streak. The Braves haven't won since his last start. This is a big start for Max tonight.
Braves Marlins tonight, 6 o'clock first pitch. We'll see you guys tomorrow. 60 Game 6 Inches, episode number 23. We're coming to you after a Max Fried start. So once again, it's time to brag about our son. What I've learned being a parent is that you're going to love your child unconditionally. But when you see your child step into their full potential, become a meaningful part of something bigger than themselves, it fills you with an indescribable amount of pride and warmth. And my heart is just so full.
Got 8 ground balls in a row, was breaking bats, and then he really started getting his strikeout pitches going. He was really, really impressive across 6 1/3 innings.
And performances like that are going to be even more important over the next week. Ronald Acuna Jr. going to the IL. That wrist issue is not getting better. That's a big blow for that offense.
Missed him this week especially, and then going into next week having to play the Nationals for the first time this year. Who do you think is going to step up to replace him? We've heard some Pache chatter, but I think if he's not playing every day, it's not worth it.
Duvall is probably going to get most of the at-bats. I think Ender's going to be the everyday center fielder for the defense. Look for Duvall to get a lot more playing time. He's earned it the way he's been hitting this season.
Yeah, game-winning home run last night. And after everything that's happened this week, the Braves can still finish it off with a series win against the first-place Marlins. We'll see you guys tomorrow. 60 games, 6 inches. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. Braves get a big series win against the Marlins on the road. Cam, we saw Robbie Erlin really pitch a great 4 innings in his first start with the Braves.
Maybe the Braves are watching our show because we've been talking so much about the other 4 slots in that rotation. And then this guy, they claimed him off of waivers, and he just comes in and was exactly what the Braves needed. When the bullpen doesn't have to eat up that many innings, it's a much better recipe for success.
This week, the Braves start a big series with the Nationals. Their first time facing them since the Nats won the World Series. The Braves have won the East 2 years in a row.
East? I thought you said Weast. Weast?
But the Nats have the bigger trophy. How big is the series this week?
Pretty big. Last team in the East the Braves haven't faced yet, so it gives them a much better sense of how they shape up with the rest of the division. And you're not facing Scherzer, you're not facing Corbin. Strasburg's on the IL, so you're facing this rotation in a really vulnerable point. Got to capitalize, got to win this series.
And on the other side of that, the Nats don't have to face Max Fried, so who really knows what's going to happen, except there will probably be a lot of runs scored these next 3 games, so you guys enjoy that. We will too. We'll see you guys tomorrow.